Have you ever wondered why your legs feel heavier than they used to, even on days when you barely walk? Why your knees seem to protest more after meals, or why a quiet afternoon suddenly ends with aching calves and stiff ankles? For many seniors, this isn't just about age. It's not just getting older. And it might not be your shoes or your joints or even your exercise routine. It could be the fruit sitting right there in your kitchen. Yes, fruit. The very thing we were all taught was nature's perfect food. Something sweet, refreshing, and healthy. Something we were told to eat more of, not less. But what if I told you that some of the fruits you've been eating, maybe even every single day, are slowly weakening your legs from the inside out? That they're not helping your body the way you believe, and may in fact be contributing to the exact pain, inflammation, and fatigue that keeps you from moving the way you once did? This isn't about fear, it's about clarity, about understanding how our bodies change with time, and how some choices, once harmless in our youth, can quietly become harmful in our later years. So if you've ever stood at the bottom of the stairs, hesitated and thought, why do my legs feel so heavy today? This video is for you. And if you know someone, maybe your spouse, your neighbor, or your childhood friend, who's been struggling with leg cramps, balance issues, or sudden joint pain, I hope you'll share this video with them too. Because sometimes the smallest adjustments, like changing just one fruit in your daily routine, can make a world of difference for how we move, feel, and age. Let me take you back to last summer. There was a man I met, George, 72 years old, still active, proud of staying off medication. He swore by his diet, mostly plant-based, walked daily, and started every morning with a generous bowl of fruit. His favorite? Pineapple. Sweet, tangy, juicy pineapple. He believed it helped his digestion, made him feel lighter, and reminded him of his childhood in Florida. But over time, George started noticing a dull ache in his knees. Then his ankles felt swollen by noon. And on some mornings, just getting out of bed made his legs feel like lead. He blamed it on walking too much, maybe a touch of arthritis, perhaps even old age catching up. But when he spoke to his physical therapist, something surprising came up. It wasn't his walking, it was the fruit. Pineapple, as tropical and healthy as it seems, is packed with sugar and acid. Two things that can quietly irritate an aging body. For seniors, these compounds don't just get digested and forgotten. They linger, they inflame, they slowly corrode the tiny blood vessels and tissues that keep your legs strong and pain-free. George didn't believe it at first, but just to be safe, he cut back on pineapple. Within 2 weeks, he noticed something unexpected. The stiffness eased, his swelling reduced, and by the end of the month, he was climbing stairs again, without bracing himself on the railing. Now, I'm not here to scare you, but I do believe we deserve to know the truth, especially about the foods we trust most, and pineapple is only one piece of this story. I met Ruth, 68, at a wellness workshop. She carried a small lunch bag with her everywhere, filled with healthy snacks, trail mix, herbal tea, and always a banana. It gives me energy, she smiled, and it's easy on the stomach. But Ruth struggled with something she didn't talk about at first. Her legs cramped almost every evening. Her doctor told her it was just part of aging, but deep down, she felt something wasn't right. After hearing about George, she tried removing bananas from her routine. Instead, she switched to small berries, and something changed. The cramps became less frequent. Her sleep improved. Her legs no longer felt as tight or restless in the evenings. It didn't make sense to her at first. Bananas are supposed to help, aren't they? But when she looked deeper, she realized bananas are not just potassium. They're sugar and starch too. And for a body over 60, sugar behaves differently. It spikes, it drops. And every spike creates a ripple effect on blood flow, circulation, and recovery. If you're still with me, still listening, that tells me something important. You care about your health and you're ready to learn what no one else is talking about. So here's a little request. If this resonates with you so far, just type "I'm here" in the comments. It lets me know these stories matter to you, and it helps me keep creating videos that truly serve seniors like us. Now let's continue, because what comes next surprised even me. It's a fruit many people see as harmless, small, easy to snack on, heart healthy, even recommended by doctors. Grapes. But when you're over 60, those sweet little orbs might be doing more harm than good. I'll tell you why in the next part. And when you hear the science behind it, you'll never look at grapes the same way again. She had always thought she was doing the right thing. A bowl of grapes on the counter, easy to grab a few between meals, share some with the grandkids, enjoy them while watching her afternoon shows. Margaret was 74, active in her garden, loved crossword puzzles, and rarely missed her early morning walks. But lately she had started feeling a burning sensation in her feet at night. Her knees would swell after sitting too long, and the stairs in her split-level home had become something she now planned her day around. At first she chalked it up to weather, then to aging, then maybe the new shoes she bought online. But nothing explained the timing, the discomfort that seemed to follow shortly after lunch. It wasn't until a conversation with her cousin, who was managing gout, that Margaret made the connection. Grapes, small, sweet, innocent grapes, are loaded with a sugar called fructose. Unlike glucose, which your body uses quickly for energy, fructose gets processed in the liver. In seniors whose metabolism often slows, that sugar doesn't burn off easily. It turns to fat, uric acid, and eventually builds up where you least expect it, in the joints. For Margaret, it was her big toes first, then her knees. She didn't have a formal diagnosis, but she didn't need one. She tried an experiment. 2 weeks without grapes. She replaced them with a few berries and a slice of avocado in the afternoons. The change wasn't instant, but it was real. The swelling eased. Her feet stopped burning at night. When I spoke to her again, she said, "You don't realize how much pain you've learned to live with until it starts to go away." That line stuck with me, because that's the truth for so many of us. We adapt, we assume. We accept discomfort because it sneaks in slowly, and we never suspect that what's hurting us might be something so wholesome. But it doesn't end there. Grapes might sneak up on us, but the next fruit hits harder, faster, and with even more sugar. Yet it's still thought of as one of the lightest, healthiest fruits around. Watermelon. I know, it sounds impossible. Watermelon is mostly water, right? It's hydrating, refreshing, and gentle on the palate. For many of us, it's a memory. Picnics, warm summers, that first bite after it's been chilled in the fridge. But what most people over 60 don't realize is that watermelon has one of the highest glycemic indexes of any fruit. That means it dumps sugar into your bloodstream faster than most desserts. It doesn't feel like you're doing harm when you eat it. In fact, it feels healthy. But the moment that sugar spike hits your system, your body begins to react. For younger bodies, this isn't usually a problem. Insulin kicks in, blood sugar levels stabilize, and recovery happens quickly. But in our later years, that system slows. And the result is oxidative stress, a fancy way of saying your body becomes inflamed from the inside, especially in places already under pressure, your calves, your knees, your feet. I remember one gentleman, Thomas, a 76-year-old who walked every evening with his wife. He loved his watermelon, said it helped him wind down. But he noticed that after dinner, his ankles were more swollen, his legs felt tighter, and he had started avoiding the longer walking route. When his wife suggested it might be the fruit, he laughed. But he agreed to try something different. Within 10 days of cutting back and choosing lower sugar options like papaya and blueberries, he found himself walking longer again. His legs didn't tire as quickly. What changed? Not his age, not his energy level, just the fruit. Now I want to pause here for a moment. If you're still watching, still with me in this conversation, that means something important. You're not just here to be told what to avoid. You're here because you care, because you want to move better, feel stronger, and age on your own terms. So I want to say thank you, truly. Your time, your attention, it matters. And if you found this helpful, I'd love for you to share it. Not for views, not for clicks, but because someone you love might still be snacking on these fruits without realizing what it's doing to their legs. We don't have to change everything overnight, but we can learn to listen to our bodies and each other a little more carefully. Now, I wish I could say that watermelon was the biggest shock on this list. But what's next? Surprised even me. It's a fruit we grew up believing in, the one that kept doctors away, supposedly. Crisp, tart, and always in the fridge. Green apples. Yes, I'm serious. I met Eleanor, 70, a retired teacher who prided herself on eating clean. Every morning started the same way: half a green apple with almond butter, a walk around the block, and then some journaling. But her legs had started hurting in strange ways. Not sharp pain, but a deep, burning discomfort in her thighs and hips, like the muscles were working too hard just to move. She thought it might be from sitting too much, or perhaps her mattress. But during a nutrition class at her local senior center, she learned something fascinating. Green apples, while lower in sugar than red ones, are high in malic acid, a compound that, in small doses, might be fine. But for seniors, especially those with sensitive joints or fibromyalgia, that acid can irritate muscle fibers and nerve pathways. And because green apples are often eaten raw, on an empty stomach, the effects can hit faster than we expect. For Eleanor, skipping her apple for just a week made her mornings feel lighter. That's how she described it. Lighter. And as someone who once taught fifth graders all day on her feet, she missed that feeling. So she adapted. Papaya replaced her apple, and with that one small change, she said she began to feel more like myself. Hakim, what about you? Have you ever felt a strange ache after what seemed like a perfectly normal meal? Have you told yourself it's just age when something in your gut whispered otherwise? Don't ignore that whisper. Our bodies speak in quiet ways. They send subtle signals long before the loud ones show up. Sometimes a slice of fruit can be more than just a snack. It can be a message. And there's still one more fruit to talk about. One that's beloved, tropical, and often seen as a guilt-free dessert. But for aging legs and delicate nerves, it might be the most dangerous of all. We'll talk about that next. Because you deserve to know the whole story, especially before your next smoothie. She held it gently, like it was a piece of sunshine. That soft golden mango, just ripe enough to melt in the mouth. Helen, 78, lived alone but took pride in preparing her meals with care. Mango was her treat, a slice in the morning with yogurt, another in the afternoon with tea. She loved the texture, the sweetness, the memories it brought back of family vacations in Florida. So when she started having trouble with her balance, nothing dramatic, just a little wobble now and then, she didn't think it had anything to do with food. Then came the fatigue. Her legs didn't carry her with the same ease anymore. Going from the living room to the mailbox felt like a chore. She told herself it was just age, but something in her body felt heavier, not in weight, but in effort. What Helen didn't realize, and what many seniors don't, is that mango, despite its reputation as a healthy tropical fruit, is a sugar bomb hiding in plain sight. Just one medium mango can have more sugar than a can of soda. And that sugar, no matter how natural it sounds, still causes blood glucose to spike. In a younger body, that may get handled without much fuss. But in a body that's seen 7-8 decades of life, the sugar lingers. It fuels inflammation, triggers swelling in joints, and even irritates nerve endings, especially in the feet. For Helen, the signs were there. Tingling at night, heat in her soles, and that persistent sense that something wasn't quite right. Her doctor ran tests, nothing alarming, but still Helen knew something was off. She happened to watch a talk at her local community center about how high sugar fruits can affect aging muscles. And for the first time, she looked down at her mango with suspicion. She didn't stop eating fruit altogether, but she swapped the mango for avocado. Later, she added cherries. And after a few weeks, she noticed that walk to the mailbox didn't feel quite so long anymore. She said, it wasn't dramatic, but it felt like a fog was lifting. That fog of fatigue, of swelling, of subtle weakness often goes unnamed. We're told it's just part of getting older. But what if it isn't? What if beneath the surface of that sweet fruit salad, your body is whispering something you've been too kind, too trusting, too familiar to hear? We grew up in a world where fruit was medicine. Eat your fruit, they said. It's good for you. And it was, for a while. But with time, everything changes. Your body changes. The way your liver processes fructose changes. The way your blood vessels respond to insulin shifts. Your joints aren't as padded, your nerves aren't as resilient, and suddenly what once energized you now begins to slow you down. But here's the beauty in all this. Once you know better, you can choose better. That doesn't mean cutting fruit entirely. It means choosing wisely, choosing the ones that soothe rather than inflame. Berries, for example. Blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. These are nature's quiet healers, packed with antioxidants, low in sugar, and gentle on the system. They don't send your blood sugar into chaos. Instead, they support your cells, ease joint discomfort, and keep circulation flowing smoothly, especially to the legs. Cherries, when eaten in moderation, work wonders for people dealing with gout or arthritis. They naturally help reduce uric acid and can prevent the flare-ups that turn simple movements into painful efforts. Then there's avocado, creamy, nutrient-dense, and a true friend to aging joints. Unlike the sugary fruits, avocado is loaded with healthy fats. It cushions your joints. It keeps you full without the crash. And it helps regulate insulin so you don't get those dangerous sugar swings. Papaya, too, is a gift. It's easy to digest, soothing for the gut, and gentle on the muscles. Its enzymes support your body in quiet ways. Nothing flashy, just honest nourishment. And even pears, when eaten mindfully, offer sweetness without the backlash. Paired with a little protein or healthy fat, they can be part of a balanced plate that fuels you gently. None of this is about restriction, it's about alignment. Aligning what you eat with what your body now needs. Because your needs have changed. That doesn't mean you're weaker, it means you're wiser. You've lived through decades of meals, of habits, of memories attached to food. You've been strong enough to survive trends, trials, even tragedies. You deserve to walk without pain, to rise from a chair without wincing, to wake up in the morning and feel your legs carry you, not drag you. And that starts with small, thoughtful choices. Choices about what you put on your plate. Every bite is a decision, a conversation between you and your body. Is this helping me or holding me back? Is this fruit nourishing me or quietly harming the very parts of me I need to stay free and mobile? You may not get an answer right away, but your body will tell you, through less swelling, through fewer cramps, through a lighter step. And if you've made it this far in the video, I want to thank you, not just for listening, but for being willing to challenge what you thought you knew. That's not easy, but it's brave. And it's exactly the kind of courage that makes aging not just something we endure, but something we master. So here's what I'll leave you with. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to toss everything out. Just begin, one fruit at a time, one gentle change. Let go of what no longer serves you. Embrace what lifts you, what strengthens you. Your legs are more than limbs. They are your freedom, your connection to the earth, to the people you love, to the moments you still have ahead. Protect them, honor them, nourish them. Because aging well isn't about looking young, it's about staying strong. And strength starts here, with knowledge, with care, with the courage to choose differently for yourself. And if this message spoke to you, please share it. Someone you love may need it more than you know. Let's keep walking strong, together. There's a moment, often quiet and unnoticed, when something changes. You get up from your chair and don't feel that familiar tightness in your calves. You reach for the handrail out of habit, but realize you didn't really need it. You sleep a little deeper. Your feet don't burn like they used to, and walking to the garden feels more like a joy than a challenge. These moments matter, and they don't come from big, dramatic decisions. They come from small, intentional shifts, like swapping a fruit that slows you down for one that gently lifts you up. That's the beauty of this stage in life. You don't need to prove anything. You've already lived through storms, triumphs, losses, and growth. Now your choices can be quieter, but deeper, more meaningful. And when you choose to care for your legs, your body, your peace, you're not just living longer, you're living more fully. I know some of you might be feeling overwhelmed right now. You might be thinking of the fruits you've loved for years and wondering if you have to say goodbye to all of them. The answer is no, not entirely. This isn't about fear, it's about wisdom. Just as you've adapted in so many other parts of life, your diet can adapt too, with kindness, with curiosity, with care. And the most important thing is not what you remove, but what you replace. Let your meals become an act of nourishment, not just for your body, but for your dignity, your independence, your ability to rise, to walk, to move freely through the years ahead. Imagine mornings where you step out of bed without wincing, evenings where your legs aren't throbbing with fatigue, long walks with friends, dancing at your granddaughter's wedding, gardening without stiffness, climbing stairs just because you can. That's what's at stake. Not just sugar levels, but your freedom. And it begins, yes, truly, with what's in your bowl. To everyone who has listened, who has stayed with me to the end of this journey, I want to say, thank you. Thank you for caring about yourself. Thank you for wanting to do better. Thank you for being open to new truths, even when they surprise you. And if you're sitting there thinking, I wish I had known this earlier, don't blame yourself. You didn't fail. You simply didn't have the right information, but now you do. And that knowledge, that quiet shift in awareness, is a beginning. So let this be your starting point. Not a diet, not a restriction, but a realignment with the life you want to live from this day forward. One where your legs carry you with ease. One where every bite works with you, not against you. One where you wake up and feel that your body's on your side again. That's not a dream. That's a choice. And it's a choice you can make today. If this video has helped you, if even one part resonated, I hope you'll do one thing. Share it. Not for me, but for someone in your life who might still be eating the wrong fruits, still wondering why their legs ache, still silently struggling. We don't always talk about these things, but maybe we should. And if we do, maybe we'll all walk a little stronger, a little freer, a little closer to the life we were meant to keep enjoying. Thank you again. And until next time, take care of your body, take care of your legs, and take care of that quiet wisdom inside you that says, I deserve to feel good again.